Hello guys, so now we're going to react for this video and incredible new emerging technologies by Top 5s. So let's play the video.
Hey everyone, in the past 20 years, people have discovered many new technologies that will shape the future of our world. Whether it's super fast ways to get around or inventions that make the world a much more sustainable place, these technologies will revolutionize the way we live, work, and get around. So, let's take a look at emerging technologies. Number 15. Sticker solar panels. Alright, now generally speaking, solar panels can be a bit unwieldy. After all, to produce a lot of energy, you need to set up solar panels on the roof. And to do this usually consists of an involved process where big panels have to be strapped on using racking, anchors, or ballast. However, sticker solar panels don't have those same constraints. They come in at about half the weight of solar panels, and they're just 4 millimeters thick. They have an adhesive that allows them to be...
So this one is a great invention because in some remote areas they are difficult to transport equipments and things um, to attach the solar panel. So this one is very good for some remote areas, but I think it's not quite as effective as the typical panels.
stuck onto practically every type of roof. Despite this, they are just as, if not more effective than regular solar panels. And given the fact they've recently received about $20 billion from the EU's Innovation Fund, there is a genuine hope that this technology will be able to explode onto the clean energy scene. Number 14. 6G. While many internet users are just starting to get their heads around 5G, very soon 6G networks may be all the rage. For those of you who don't know, wireless communication systems use radio frequencies in order to carry information through the air, and since existing 5G networks use higher radio frequencies than 4G networks, they create a signal that's less cluttered, and therefore generate faster internet that can handle more devices at any one time. In essence, 6G is just the successor to 5G, as by using higher frequencies than the 5G networks, they'll be able to provide substantially higher capacity and much lower latency. And this is important because it will provide internet that's about 100 times faster than 5G. At the current moment, most experts believe that 6G internet will launch commercially by the year 2030, and I hope that this improvement comes around sooner rather than later. Number 13. Disease-fighting robots. When fighting diseases like cancer, treatment efforts are extremely painful. After all, because procedures like chemotherapy can't distinguish between healthy and unhealthy cells, pain and side effects like hair loss come as a result. However, researchers from Arizona State University have been able to create drug-carrying nanorobots that can treat patients in a far more comfortable way. You see, the nanorobots are made from sheets of DNA rolled into tubes containing a blood-clotting drug. On the outside, the researchers placed a small DNA molecule that binds with a protein found only in tumors, and so when the robot reaches the tumor, this molecule quickly attaches itself to the protein, triggering the DNA tube to unroll and release the drug. The researchers further found that the robots would only attack tumor cells, and that the patients who had these robots experienced no side effects. As such, so long as this type of research continues, it's more than likely that nanorobots could totally change the health.
So if this is real, then it's great because it fight diseases. But I think for some time dangerous because what if the robots will become dangerous and they kill patients? But that's just my thinking.
Healthcare game. Number 12. Quantum computing. While modern supercomputers are able to make calculations incredibly quickly, the next generation of computers that might be able to outpace them are quantum computers. Now, in essence, quantum computers are machines that uses the laws of quantum mechanics to solve problems. More specifically, while classic computers make use of bits, quantum computers make use of qubits, and while their function is similar, they differ in ability. For example, while 8 bits is enough for a computer to represent any number between 0 and 255, 8 qubits is enough for a quantum computer to represent every number between 2 and 255 at the same time. As a result, they're able to work far more efficiently, and to date, companies such as Google, IBM, and Microsoft have been at the forefront of this technology. In terms of real-world applications, quantum computers are extremely important because they can do everything from making weather prediction models nearly perfect to helping investors perfectly time the market. So, whoever can make the world's most powerful quantum computers may just be able to become unimaginably wealthy. Number 11. The Metaverse. When it comes to the future of digital technology, one of the most contentious new pieces of technology is the metaverse. While it does not have a clear definition due to the fact that it's constantly in evolution, the best way to describe it would be to call it a cyberspace, as it's essentially an addition to the internet that allows users to access virtual worlds, buy virtual property, use virtual currencies, and do things they would otherwise be unable to do in the real world. While the possibilities with the metaverse are endless, the idea is that it would allow people to own and use digital assets across different platforms, revolutionizing the way we work, play, and invest our money. It is as a result of this potential that companies such as Facebook have literally renamed themselves, as they now go by the name Meta in order to stress their commitment to the metaverse, while other ventures such as Roblox and Microsoft are also carving out their slice of the pie. However, only time will tell whether or not the metaverse will be a success or a flop. Number 10. Cryptocurrency. In our increasingly digital world, some see cryptocurrency as something that will revolutionize the world economy. However, there are many others that see it as something that will almost certainly flop. In essence, a cryptocurrency is a currency in which transactions are verified and records maintained by a decentralized.
Only many people invest in this kind of currency, crypto, online, something like that. But some of them came successful because they know how the system works. But some also get bankrupt and they lose many of their assets because of this cryptocurrency that that this channel is talking about.
System using cryptography rather than by a centralized authority such as a central bank or federal institution. The end result is that cryptocurrencies can be mined using computers and are almost completely out of the control of large institutions. And as a result, they could democratize world finance and make it harder for elites to control the market. However, as cool as cryptocurrencies are, the reality is that they just may never become the tool that early proponents hoped they would be. This is because their crazy fluctuations in value make it hard for them to be a real currency, which would require a far more stable and predictable value for retailers to accept them en masse. There's also an issue that their digital nature has no physical presence, meaning they can't be traded or exchanged in the physical world. As a result, cryptocurrencies have more or less begun to decline in value as a whole, and while they may be the technology of the future, they may also end up being a relic of the past. Number 9. The blockchain. While cryptocurrencies and the metaverse are both kind of pretty cool, the technology that truly links them together is the blockchain. In essence, the blockchain is a distributed database, and it works as follows. First, a transaction, let's say a transfer of a Bitcoin, is sent to several computers. These computers solve an equation to verify the transaction, and once confirmed to be legitimate, they cluster the data into blocks. These blocks are then chained together to create a transaction history, NFTs, for their work. There's a very real chance that the blockchain will fail to reach its full potential. However, if it does, it could make everything from online activities to daily transactions very different than it is now. Number 8. Nuclear fusion. While nuclear fusion may sound scary and post-apocalyptic, it may in fact be our best shot at creating a limitless and environmentally friendly energy supply. By definition, nuclear fusion is the process of creating the nucleus of an atom by combining two smaller nuclei into one. And while this doesn't seem too crazy, the reality is that this could really be a big deal. This is because the nuclei typically stay in their respective atoms, and so when they're collided together at extremely fast speeds in extremely hot conditions, they can overcome the forces that keep them apart and fuse into one particle, releasing a massive amount of heat energy in the process. While this has been achieved, the challenge is now to create a nuclear fusion reaction that gives out more energy than it takes to create. And this is vital because, if possible, it will allow humans to create an unlimited supply of energy that produces no carbon emissions and very small amounts of nuclear waste. To date, the technology has slowly been inching forward, with recent experiments seeming to indicate that this positive net energy transfer is entirely possible. However, only time will tell whether or not nuclear fusion technology will get off the ground quickly enough to be a success. Known as powered exoskeletons, these are essentially mobile machines that humans can wear over various parts of the body. They make use of features such as motors, levels, and hydraulics to enhance the use of one's own body parts, essentially turning regular human capabilities into superhuman abilities. For example, through the use of neurotransmitters and special muscle supports, there's a belief that an exoskeleton could make someone a perfect piano player that could go beyond the realms of normal human performance. Likewise, there's also a belief that a powered exoskeleton could make it so a human could run through a forest at 35 kilometers per hour without stopping for an entire day. And given that these exoskeletons are being funded by large corporations, it should come as little surprise that they're currently being developed for one purpose:
Nice.
work. For example, there's one being developed to allow nurses to stand up all day without getting tired, and another to allow those working in industrial settings to lift more weight than they could under normal circumstances. However, while these exoskeletons are pretty cool, they represent a major ethical problem. It's because these things are essentially being built so workers can work longer hours, and this could essentially lead to these workers becoming little more than machines that complete tasks for hours on end each day. Yet, despite the serious moral dilemma, development continues on these exoskeletons, and it's quite likely that they may just be the future of work.
Whoa.
Number 3. Ocean wave electricity.
Ocean
While
wave.
wind and solar energy are great, they're all limited by the fact that the sun isn't always shining and the wind isn't always blowing. However, ocean wave electricity takes account of these issues by nature of the fact that waves never stop. Now, the basic premise of wave electricity is that it harnesses the motion of a wave in order to generate electricity.
Nice.
And while there are still many ways of doing this, after all, some wave energy systems use the power of swells, some of breaking
Well, this kind of it's called ocean electricity. And it's nice because people are getting innovate, they innovate, they evolve during um you know kind of innovation is very great for those who are the this help because um, some of our electricity in this world is getting rapidly low because of consumption. Many. That's why this thing
waves and others of pressure near the ocean floor, they all have the same goal of converting wave energy into electrical energy. Admittedly, there is one major obstacle in the way of widespread development: the lack of good locations. After all, while they technically can be built on any coastline, they need to be placed somewhere that has enough waves to make the generator profitable, while also not being so wavy that the generator would get damaged during a storm. Beyond viability, there are also concerns that these generators could damage marine environments. This is because if a wave is broken up to make electricity, it will not be quite as strong as it is when it comes to shore, and these smaller waves could lead to less mixing of nutrients with the water column, and therefore less nutrients going to the aquatic plants and animals that need them.
advantage.
However, as a whole, most scientists agree that wave electricity plants are a net benefit to society and the environment at large. As such, several computer models have been made to find the best possible places to put them, and many designs have been developed to try to negate the damaging effects of waves on wildlife, with one of the most innovative including the idea of placing them very far underwater and allowing coral reefs to grow on top of them, so that they are as eco-friendly as possible. In a world moving towards green energy, these machines will almost certainly see a wave of new development in the future. Maglev lines. While the basic technology surrounding maglev lines has been around ever since 1966, some countries in Southeast Asia have recently begun to take the technology to completely new heights. You see, the basic premise of a maglev line is that it uses two sets of magnets, with one set repelling and pushing the train up and off the track, while the other moves the elevated train ahead. This takes advantage of the lack of surface-to-surface friction, so the train can move at incredibly fast speeds, while still being incredibly quiet and smooth. While this led to a successful high-speed train across North America, Europe, and Asia throughout the 1970s and 1980s, lack of funding caused progress to stall. And only 3 countries have maglev lines, with all of those in South Korea and Japan only being low-speed lines, while the line in Shanghai, China is considered to be the world's only high-speed maglev line. However, despite these disappointing stats, the idea of maglev lines has begun to resurface. This is because these lines produce zero carbon emissions, and since they run on electricity and can go extremely fast, they've been seen as the future of the rail industry. It's with this in mind that some future-thinking countries have begun to make plans to build them, and the highest profile line is said to be in Japan. Set to connect Tokyo to Nagoya by 2027 and Nagoya to Osaka by 2037. It will travel at speeds of up to 500 kilometers per hour, likely making it the fastest passenger train in the world. Due to its speed, it's estimated that it will be able to make the trip between Tokyo and Nagoya in less than an hour, which is pretty impressive given that it takes about an hour and 40 minutes right now. However, about 86% of the Tokyo-Nagoya line will be underground, which requires extensive tunnel construction, and this has caused some problems in certain parts of the line. This is because there are worries that the Shizuoka Prefecture's Oi River may leak into the train's tunnel, causing serious mechanical problems, while also severely lowering the river's water level. As a result, the Central Japanese Railway Company has expressed concern that this may make the 2027 completion date near impossible to obtain, although only time will tell what will become of this project. I'll see you next time.
Next time.
Watch our future playlist for more top 15 videos.
So that's all for today's video. So as we can see, there are many innovations that humans are doing right now. there's some 15 credible innovation technologies that are emerging today. So these innovations are some. They have advantages, disadvantages, of course. First, they can make our life easier and better and also efficient. Also, it is quite expensive, and some of them may result to issues that are universal. So, no, but it's nice to hear that we have new innovations that are coming in the future. And that's all for today's video.